Soils begin to form when environmental forces break down rocks and similar materials that lie on or near the Earth's surface. A diverse set of geographical features like monuments, rivers, different kinds of water bodies, minerals and temperatures, different types of erosion, zonation, ecosystems have yielded different kinds of soil in Asia. Pedologists or soil scientists call the resulting matter parent material. As soil develops through the centuries, organic material collects and the soil resembles the parent material less and less. Glaciers, rivers, wind and other environmental forces may move parent material and soil from one area to another. The kinds of parent material. The type of parent material helps determine the kinds of mineral particles in a soil. A process called weathering breaks down parent material into mineral particles. There are two kinds of weathering: physical disintegration and chemical decomposition. Physical disintegration is caused by ice, rain, wind and other forces. They wear down rocks into smaller particles that have the same composition as the parent material. Sand and silt result from physical disintegration. Decaying organic material releases nutrients into the soil. In addition, some organic material combines with mineral particles. Other decaying material forms organic soil particles called humus. Most humus is black or dark brown and it holds large amounts of water. Only 6 to 12% of the volume of particles in most mineral soils is organic. However, these small quantities greatly increase a soil's ability to support plant life. In some soils, called organic soils, more than 20% of the soil particles are organic. Water that enters the soil dissolves minerals and nutrients and forms a soil solution. Much of the solution drains away, but some remains in the pore spaces. Green plants obtain water and some nutrients by absorbing soil solution through their roots. Air replaces the water that drains from the larger pore spaces. Soil organisms live best in soils that contain almost equal amounts of air and water. These include rich topsoil comprising of red soils and black soil, gravel, sand, alluvial soil, clayey soil, silt, etc. Soil layers are formed by erosion of bedrock combined with factors such as intensity of wind speeds, rate of rainfall, relative humidity and mean temperatures, thawing and freezing factors, etc. Soil is enriched by nutrients found in animal feces, humus or decaying leaf litter, moisture content in the atmosphere as well as in the ground surface, presence of groundwater aquifers, etc. The importance of soil is evident from the fact that all life on earth depends on soil as a direct or indirect source of food. Soil contains minerals and organic particles, other plant and animal matter, air and water. The contents of soil change constantly. There are many kinds of soil and each has certain characteristics including color and composition. The kind of soil in an area helps determine how well crops grow there. Soil forms slowly and is destroyed easily and so it must be covered so it can continue to support life. Characteristics of soil. The method and formation of soil formation differs throughout a body of soil. As a result, the soil develops layers. These layers are called soil horizons. Soil horizons may be thick or thin and they may resemble or differ from the surrounding horizons. The boundaries between the layers can be distinct or barely noticeable. Most soils include three major horizons. The upper two, called the topsoil, is padded below by subsoil, which is exposed to little weathering as it is protected by the topsoil. The composition of the subsoil resembles that of the parent material. Soil scientists describe soils by the characteristics of the soil horizons including color, texture, structure and chemical conditions. Color of soil. Soils range in color from yellow and red to dark brown and black. The color of the soil helps soil scientists or pedologists to estimate the amount of water, air, organic matter and certain elements in the soil. For example, a red color may indicate that iron compounds are present in the soil. Texture of soil. Texture of a soil depends on the size of its mineral particles. Sands are the largest particles. The individual grains can be seen and felt. Silts are just large enough to be seen, and clay particles are microscopic. Pedologists divide soils into textural classes according to the amounts of sand, silt and clay matter in a soil sample. For example, the mineral portions of soils classified as loam contain 7 to 27% clay and less than 52% sand. In silty clay, more than 40% of the mineral particles are clay and more than 40% are silt. Texture helps determine how thoroughly water drains from the soil. Sands promote drainage better than clays. Soil conservation. The soils of farmlands and forest lands provide many products and recreational areas. Soil conservationists work to ensure the wise use of these soils. Farmers add organic matter to the soil by plowing under certain green plants. They also add fertilizers and rotate crops to replace nutrients that leaching and growing plants remove. In addition, farmers plow and plant their fields in ways that control erosion. On the forest floor, thousands of years of collection of leaf litter, fallen fruits, berries, nuts and mosses and animal excreta add to soil moisture and enrich the groundwater aquifers by retaining moisture. The forest floor enriched by the leaf litter of tropical forests act as catchment areas for the monsoon cycles, which in turn feed the rivers. Hence, conservation of the catchment area for the monsoons is critical for the entire regional environment and ecosystem. The rivers feed the oceans and the oceans in turn evaporate to feed the monsoon bearing clouds, thus completing the nature cycle. Without the monsoons, agriculture would be severely jeopardized. Terrain and weather patterns are interdependent. We see this best in windswept sand dunes and beaches where wind erosion sustains the terrain pattern. Monsoon cycles drive and sustain the tropical rainforests, desert ecosystems as well as in dry rocky zones. Wind erosion accounts for the decimation of rocks into sand and gravel. Sand and gravel enable runoff of rainwater and subterranean aquifers and underground rivers. The forested hill canopies on the Himalayas and the Western Ghats in India serve as catchment area for the monsoon drift that blesses all the Indian Ocean rim countries with an annual monsoon cycle. But the pressure of development compromises the conservation quotient, and without catchment area conservation, the rainfall pattern has altered significantly, decreasing the rainfall, increasing the frequency of floods and droughts and other agrometeorological factors, precipitating droughts, floods, agricultural output, climate change and water consumption patterns right across South Asia.